Really, pre-dating should be preparation, but really about preparing yourself. I think, taking time or a season to really focus on your best and finding your best is really wise before you start dating. Thinking about it in the alternative, wouldn't you want the person pursuing you or the person you're planning to pursue to have spent time focusing on developing the characteristics within themselves, the behaviors within themselves, the discipline within themselves that's gonna be your ideal? Like, wouldn't you want to see them developing those things? So let's use finances, for instance. That's always a tension, right? Some of these guys just don't have it together, right? And so for women, wouldn't you want that guy to maybe go take a finance course and learn how to manage his money? And so we can do that for ourselves, right? So in that same way, women can be preparing with things that they feel like they should be prepared and bring to the relationship, the same way they would want those guys doing the same thing. So I think, pre-dating is all about preparation.
Okay. How do you know when you're done preparing?
I mean, none of us are ever complete works, right? Like, we're all masterpieces, but we're all works in progress. And so I think it's great to set goals, but one of the great things about, I think, good preparation is that it builds a discipline to always be humble and teachable and coachable and to be seeking for better. Now, I don't want to sound like perfectionist or perfectionism. I don't want to speak that into this situation, but I will say, like, we should always be trying to round ourselves out. We should always be trying to be better. I think about Amy, my fiance, the things she works on to be better at that bless me, that I'm not even aware of, and how much that impacts me. And so I think about, man, if I can do that for her also. So what can I get better at to be a better mate for her? So, maybe for areas of discipline that I could be better at. Maybe it's like health-wise, right? Like, can I make healthier choices to be a better leader for my family longer, right? To set a good example for my future children to make healthy choices. If it's just eating habits or exercise habits, and that's longevity that I could potentially add to my life. Going back to finances, like I've taken Financial Peace University twice. It's Dave Ramsey's course on how to manage our money, which is great. If you haven't done it, you should do it.
Amazing course.
I know, right? Little financial peace plug.
Exactly.
But I've taken that course twice because I want to be a good steward for my family. I want us to be able to make choices together that are healthy financial choices. And so that was something I actually took before I even was dating, and then I've taken again together with Amy. And so, I think that actually would be maybe a practical example that I've walked out that I could suggest. And what's that area of life for you? I've made some terrible mistakes financially, and I knew that I didn't want to carry that baggage into the relationship. So let me start trying to get better at that before I even start trying to have a relationship.
Okay, so evaluating some things that you definitely don't want to take into a relationship, and maybe even taking some things from past relationships that you're like, you know what, I could have done this better.
Yeah.
How do you know what those things should really look like for the other person? So we make lists and things that we want to see in the other person. Because I've heard people say, well, my cons actually outweigh my pros for the things that I want in this other person.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Man, I think I love the idea of having a list of kind of your expectations for that person. But let's turn that on its head. I would say, what are my goals? Like, what are the disciplines and behaviors that, like, the best version of me should be walking out? And maybe make that list for yourself. Can we turn instead of it being a looking glass into the relationship we want, let's make it a mirror. And no, this isn't easy, right? We have to kind of expose the parts of ourselves that maybe we're not all that excited about. But if we can work on those things before we go into the relationship, how much healthier could we be? And then as a result of that, could the relationship be? And like I said, wouldn't we want the other person to be working on these things the same way? And so, for me, it's like, one of the things, like I said, was finances. I wanted to get that in order because I didn't want to carry that kind of baggage in. And so, it's taking that hard, honest look at yourself and saying, okay, these are the things that I think I have to offer. and these are the things I think I could improve on. And don't just focus on the things you have to improve on. The things that you have to offer are actually really awesome. And I really think, if we talk about, and we could disagree about some relationship by design, but I don't think there's one specific person maybe for everybody, but there are going to be specific traits that they might have and specific behaviors that you could work on that would counter those that you're already really great at. And so maybe you're really good at caring for people. And so don't ignore that gift of yours to care for others, because that could end up really benefiting your healthy relationship to come. And so, yes, let's work on the things that we need to grow and strengthen in, but don't forget your strengths. Don't neglect those, and really cultivate and nurture them to be even healthier.
That's awesome.